Hello, my awesome friends. How you doing? Your buddy Phil here, project management trainer and coach. Let's go back in my little time machine to 2005. So here's Phil getting ready for the PMP exam. My mentor, Mary Hirschner, gives me a bunch of books. And one of the books she gave me, she said, Phil, use this book to study. This is what I used. Here's a book right here. Some of you identify the name, right? This is way back. I kept this copy of the book because I wanted to refer back to it as the beginnings of the journey. So Mary Hirschner gave me this book. She gave me a bunch of other books. And I started studying. I had the PMBOK guide, which she gave me. The PMBOK guide second edition is what I started reading along with this. Now, everything was going really, really well. I was studying, I was getting a lot of information. And then a thought popped into my head from somewhere. Why don't you use another book in addition to this one? So I went on eBay and I got another book. This book. Now, a lot of you don't know this book, but this book was written by Claudia Backer, PMP, and Patty Jansen, PMP. Now, the moment I began trying to titrate these books, I started going a little bit round the bend. You know what I mean? I was not able to effectively streamline because both books approach the topic in different ways. I tried, and then I realized I was going against the grain. Not to say that any of these books was wrong, but I realized I really needed to hone in and follow one mindset, one approach, one ideology. So I stuck to this. A lot of people have criticized Rita's approach to training project management. Let me just say, it may not be for everyone. You know what I mean? You can have one writer write in a way that you don't like and another, fine. We don't have to use the same content from the same writer. You get what I'm saying? So find what works for you. This, at the time, it worked. I was covering a lot of the content daily. Mary Hirschner gave me all sorts of materials. Also from Rita, she gave me flashcards. She gave me a whole bunch of stuff. Till today, the flashcards are stuck in my head. So I still hear 17 years ago what I used to study. So, you know, shout out to Mary for giving me that content. But what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that when you combine too many sources of content, it can make you go off course. It could be a little bit hard for you to combine them. So my advice to you is to just stick to one set of materials, especially if you are using our materials. You don't need to combine a whole bunch of stuff because you're going to end up having Jekyll and Hyde moments like I had. Trust me, trust me. If you have got a material set and a trainer, a coach, an instructor that you've learned the max from, just go that direction. Stop going for so many different options. It's not going to add up to anything at the end of the day because we all have our different approaches, right? In training and coaching. Now, fast forward 7 years later, the author of the book, right? Claudia, the author of the book, what happens? She ends up being my teacher for the OPM3 certification, which PMI have shelved. It's been a while that they stopped it. But my goodness, what a crazy certification. It's like 3 exams in one. And I remember talking to Claudia and her walking me through, and nicest of people ever. And my goodness, what an encyclopedia of information regarding organizational project management. I'm so glad I was trained and coached by her. However, you got to remember, I picked up a book written by a brilliant author. Try to combine it with another book written by another brilliant author. It just didn't work. It just didn't work. But as far as her prowess and knowledge in project management, it's off the charts, off the radar. It's just so ridiculously good. And my outcome from that course that Claudia taught, I mean, I got so much value out of it. It was ridiculous. So I'm trying to tell you, my friends, you could have great authors, trainers, but trying to combine material may not be in your best interest. I suggest sticking to one. Just stick to one, whatever it is, whatever, you know, whether it's PMBOK and something else, do that, okay? And there is the author, you know, she's not with us anymore, but I really want to make a case for her content, okay? Because it's not fair how in this industry, we demonize authors for being their true selves, for sharing out of the passion of their heart. And she is one who did that. And you see her company has stood the test of time. So I want to encourage you, my friends, one piece of content, one source of content, hammer down, go for it, stay the course, stop giving Amazon all your money, buying a book today, tomorrow you buy another book. No, no. My titration experiment is, who have you learned the most from that has blown the lid off your understanding of this topic? Stay the course in that direction. Don't do yourself a disservice by trying to combine. You saw my example, two great authors. But when you're already on the railroad tracks going down and you're trying to add another track, why? You got one track, just go, all right? I hope this sheds some more light on my perspective to you, some of you, my students, when I tell you, don't add more stuff. You know, it's very simple. I make it very clear. This is what I say. For those people who come for training with me, I tell them this. I say, start off with a firm understanding of this thing. Know the Agile practice guide. Know it good, know it well, know it good, know it well, know it good, know it inside out. Know pages. You know, it's sad that I can actually recite the pages without much thought. Page 8, page 9, page 14, page 18, page 19, page 27, page 28, page 50 to 56, page 90 to 95. And just know that stuff really well. This, I usually recommend a speed read. So from page 561 to page 635. Not the whole thing, but just speed read. If you wanted to read the whole thing, speed read, just do it. It could help you. But beyond these two, if you're a student of mine, you know what I tell you. I often tell you, just stick to one set of content and just mow it down, but don't add other stuff, especially when you're working with other colleagues who have been focused on one set of content. Because what it does, it makes people go into panic mode thinking they don't have enough. And then they're trying to add more and they're getting confused and they're trying to add more and more. And even if they're not getting confused, they get into a compulsive state of wanting to take more and more. No. The other thing I recommend that you do if you're getting ready for the exam is going down to Ken Schwaber's website. I've said again and again, I believe in going to the source. I don't believe in fakes. I go to the source. So going down to scrum.org. Take a look at the open assessments for Scrum, the open assessment for the product owner, open assessment for professional Agile leadership. That's enough. Get hundreds, aim to get hundreds in those open assessments. That's enough. Don't add more. Okay? Don't be like me. Everything was going good until I decided to add a second track. It didn't work. I just got confused. But great author, great teacher. You know what I'm saying? All right. I hope this gave you some context on being able to balance things. I want to give a shout out, and I'm really grateful for Rita Mulcahy and her writing the book that I read to become certified. And anyone else that has any other opinion, you're free to your opinion, but I believe that she really had a great heart for project management and wanted people to know the truth. You know, the truth about project management. There's a truth to it. You know, authenticity, being realistic, making sure you've done everything and leaving no stone unturned. Because if you saw what I did on the exam, you'd be just as passionate as she was to not let people fail. And I believe that's where that passion came from. All right. Thank you, my friends. I wish you all the best. One track, stay the course.